All right, welcome into Same But Different. We're here to talk movies and review some of the latest. This week, we are reviewing Richard Linklater's latest film, Hitman. We had to go about special ways to watch this film because, for some reason, Canada Netflix hasn't gotten it yet.
A Netflix original sans Canada.
Let's give it to you, bro, and hear your thoughts on Hitman, starring Glen Powell.
How should I start this? I was very excited for this movie. From the second I saw the first trailer, knowing it was Richard Linklater, I could take or leave Glen Powell at this point. He's kind of getting the Chris Pratt, Tom Holland thing. We're like, that's enough, bud. A little bit. Slow your rope. I don't dislike the guy, but slow down, please.
Chill out.
Now, yes, I really, really, really wanted to like this one. And I'm not saying it was bad, okay?
Okay.
It wasn't a bad movie, but I really wanted more out of this, or different out of this. I didn't like the final product as much as I thought I would. I love Richard Linklater. I mean, Dazed and Confused and School of Rock. Like, he's done so much others, but those are two 10 out of 10 comedies for me. I love those movies. Something about this movie just didn't do it for me. It was fine.
Great.
By the time it was over, I enjoyed my time with it. I don't regret watching it, but it just wasn't the movie I wanted it to be. I found the characters very unlikable.
Oh, okay.
Or at least, like, they became unlikable. Like, I really liked Glen Powell at the beginning. He was kind of this nerdy, strong, bad boy, but he was nerdy as a forefront. He was enjoyable because it kind of juxtaposed what he was doing and who he was. But then he just turned into an asshole, just a jock, and it lost all the charm of his character along the way of this movie. Maybe I missed that this was the main point of the movie in the trailers or whatever, but I think this would have been a lot more enticing if they lost the rom-com aspect.
Love each other.
Gross.
That sucks because that's largely what this movie became about. You know, when they introduced the love interest, I was like, that's fine. Cute little twist in the story. Let's get back to the story. But then that's what the story became. That's what the rest of the movie was. And I wanted it to be more about the job he was doing and the development and getting into zany situations and that kind of comedy. More than this. I would have loved to see him play like more fun characters, but as soon as he landed on Ron, which was the most boring of all of his characters, and this plot began with the main love interest girl, that's the rest of the movie. And the variety and spice that this movie teased us with went away. They took the easy route with the plot. If she died or something right off the hop, that would have been hilarious.
Heavy shit.
Like, I know that sounds bad, but it would have made this movie dark and fun. I don't know. As soon as it introduced itself as like, this is a rom-com with shitty people, enjoy, I just feel like it lost its steam so fast. I think at the end of the day, this is the kind of movie, it's a good, lazy day, smirk your way through kind of movie, but it just felt tepid.
That's fair.
It just felt lukewarm, you know? But I liked it a little more than I didn't like it.
What?
So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I was leaning on a 5, and I'm like, it's a little better than just straight mediocre. It just wasn't what I wanted and wasn't as good as it could have been.
Okay, another movie that falls victim to not living up to what you wanted it to be.
Yep. That's what movies are. They're subjective. I wanted something out of it. It didn't deliver it. I gave it the rating I gave it.
It is what it is. I do agree with you in the way that it felt weird. It felt weird in the way that, like, it didn't feel like Richard Linklater. Tepid is a great way to put it, because besides the ending, because that I was really impressed with the risk it took at the ending. But it wasn't taking risks throughout the whole movie. It felt like a competent filmmaker was trying to imitate Linklater. Linklater.
See you at the rink later, Link.
That's his nickname, probably. I think it's because it's a Netflix film. I think Netflix is notorious for not taking risks and notorious for their films feeling not as bold as they could be.
Not good enough.
Because there is something here that's, like, incredible.
So close.
But I think Netflix has its foot on the necks of creatives. Glen Powell, I am super impressed by this man. Yeah, his face keeps popping up, and it may be that he turns into a Chris Pratt, Tom Holland sort of thing. But Chris Pratt and Tom Holland has never impressed me in their acting abilities the way he has thus far. In this movie alone, he cycles through so many different characters, and I believed every single one of them. The relationships he built with his clients while he was that character, I was like, this is perfect. I think it's a little unrealistic that he went so far as to like get super good at, special effect makeup.
It's not real.
But most importantly, besides all those characters, Glen Powell is playing a character who then played a character that he wanted to become and slowly became that character over time. And I think that's incredible acting. It was layered. It was I loved it. I loved it. I looked this up, by the way. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Adria Aruana, the woman who played Madison, was fine. However, I just think that she could have been played by anybody. I don't think she brought anything super special to the table. The chemistry was nice, but I just feel like could have been anyone.
The chemistry was nice, and maybe this was the point. Maybe I'm just a square vanilla old romantic.
You are.
But like all it was sexual. Their relationship was built off of being sexual with one another. And that's great. Mm-hmm. But that's all, like, I didn't care about them.
Yeah, and I think that's where it trips a little bit because we saw that it was purely sexual, but the movie tried to feed it to us that it was a romantic connection. So it was weird. And Austin Emilio, the guy who played Jasper, my favorite character.
Yeah, that's fair.
I loved him. It was so cool to see him play. Technically, he's the antagonist of the film, but he's not a villain. He's just there to expose our main character for the lies he's been telling.
Yeah, I liked the pair in the surveillance van as well. They were fun.
I really liked the story. I thought the story was original, even if it wasn't through this movie. Just like reading about how this is a job and how someone did this is just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
I think that's a story worth telling for sure. And then the added layer of him being a philosophy teacher and teaching philosophy, and then those teachings applying to himself as he evolves as the character.
It was very Walter White.
I am the one who knocks.
I enjoyed this film a little bit more than you, but I do recognize that it could have been something so much better. So in that regard, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, shoot.
I would watch this again. I would recommend it to people for sure. It just could have been smarter. It could have been darker. It could have been more Linklater-y.
Linklater-y. That's the first time I learned that Hitman wasn't a real thing.
True. Learn that as well. I don't know if that's true. I wonder how much of this is true.
I mean, I'm sure someone has been a hitman, but is it actually a job? I don't know. If you made it this far, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. Please excuse the mess behind me. My basement flooded and I had to get everything off the floor. I just want to say it. I don't want people to be like, oh, it smells like mothballs down there. Like that one comment 7 months ago that still sticks with me.
Brody got hurt. You heard him. Hitman, is it on Netflix where you live? Have you seen it? If you've seen it, let us know in the comment section below what you thought about the film. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel, like the video because it helps us out, helps the algorithm gods. And we just want to keep doing this for you guys. So
just if you're watching right now, just subscribe. It doesn't hurt you. Just subscribe.
The elections are coming up.
Oh,
in that spirit, we're going to watch Civil War.
Sure, man.
So come on back next week where we dive into the political war thriller drama, Silver
Surfer.
So come back next week. We'll watch Civil War. We'll review it. We'll talk about it. And then in the meantime, keep watching movies.
Keep watching those movies, you suckers.
I am the one who knocks.